insane. You're in pain. I can tell by what you're saying.
Dax, listen to me. I'm here from the future. I'm here to warn you that if the music doesn't get any better, you're gonna appear in CDTVProductions video series Worst Rappers in the Game. Dax, please stop. It's embarrassing. No, not more. Less. Dax. Dax. Dax.
Corny, goofball, scammer, janitor. These are just some words that have been used by others to describe the Dax Man. He is a rapper that at this point has been around for quite a long time, and he has managed exceptionally well to stay relevant over the years. A big part of that due to his dedication towards just clapping the algorithm's cheeks. I first heard of this guy in like 2017, 2018, and he is still putting up numbers every time that he drops something. But is the music actually any good? Well, today, Worst Rappers in the Game, ? Returns, and I'm gonna be answering that question. To get a solid opinion on his music, I listened to Tupac Reincarnation Volume 2 as told by Dax. It's a Tupac remix tape. It's different now, I'll say it for you. Pain paints paintings, what is life, and from a man's perspective, along with numerous singles and remixes that he's done over the years.
It took a long time.
So with that being said, this is CDTV Productions, and let's see if Dax is one of the worst rappers in the game or not.
I'm not bipolar, but I feel an imbalance inside me chemically. Up, down, got my emotions and I feel incredibly sick.
Rapping style. He certainly has one. Are you guys familiar with the concept of flanderization? It's defined by TV tropes as the act of taking a single action or trait of a character within a work and exaggerating it more and more over time until it completely consumes the character. Most always, the trait/action becomes completely outlandish and it becomes their defining characteristic, turning them into a caricature of their former selves. I feel like this perfectly describes what has happened to a good chunk of Dax's rapping from 2016 up until now. Obviously on his earlier stuff, his delivery is more reserved, less confident. That's just kind of natural earlier on when you're trying to find your voice. But on his 2018 mixtape of Tupac remix songs, I feel like he finally sounded pretty smooth as a rapper.
Picture me rolling on the bike. It's my life. Could be making millions off a rap, but they ain't treating me right. See, I'm a mover and shaker. I got needed a baker. I took my shit out to Cali. I could be hooping for Lakers. I got a rap on my play.
Now, his singing moments on that tape are pretty dreadful.
Oh, yeah. That's just the way it is. Things will never be the same.
But let's stay on topic with the rapping voice for now. That was Dax then. But Dax now, to put it pretty simply, often raps like a cartoon character.
Even though we all know I'm one of the best of all time.
I mean, compare one of his earliest remixes of Tupac's California Love.
Give me the beat, ace to death. Give me the boot thing with a fan base and a band-aid. It's a wreck. Give me a fan page and a check. Give me a 12 gauge and a vest.
To one of his modern ones, like his Forgot About Dre remix.
You wanna know why the whole world hates me? I spit truth and I rhyme off safety. And they know that I just might maybe be the motherfucking goddamn greatest.
Obviously, over time, your delivery is going to become more defined, and you're going to zone in a little bit more on what works, perhaps even what grabs the most attention, but my god, are the over-the-top vocals so terrible.
Best in the game, I'm a mastermind, a mastermind. Clones and inflection, my metaphors do more and fortify and grows with the likes of a Fortune 5.
He feels like a parody of himself now, if that's even possible. Hey, is this the Dax Song Factory?
Yeah, what do you need?
You guys got any good rapping with nice cadences?
Best we can do is maniacal yelling.
Oh great! I love slop.
Best in the game, I'm a mastermind.
But let's step away from the rappity rap for a minute. I was really surprised at how much of Dax's albums are melodically focused. and this can be a bit back and forth between albums. His 2018 project, It's Different Now, is far from perfect with the vocals, but it does have a few songs that are pretty catchy and relatively nice to listen to.
I don't get tired, no, no, no. I keep going like all night long. No, I can't stop, oh, no, no, no. I keep going like all night long. Snow cap, niggas don't rap, real talk, better know that. Murder, body bag, and a toe tag. No cash, nah, nigga, no collab. See me in the street, ain't about action. Nigga want beef, put it in the caption. Nigga want tweet, never about rapping. I bring heat, yeah, nigga, I'm blasting.
Honestly, not bad. By contrast, his next project in 2020, I'll say it for you, is mostly a disaster melodically. Tracks that are supposed to be super emotional turn into unintentional comedy because of the delivery.
Fool me once, shame on you. You fooled me twice, now I'm looking like a fool.
Some of them just sound grating.
Done with the lie, put it out and I'm multiple die. You can win without multiple drive. Nigga, baby, got the end there.
And then there's one song where he just straight up rips off Rod Wave style. It's so blatant.
I sit and cry in my room, my heart's been broken, suffocating, feels like I'm choking. How'd you do this? We were supposed to live in perfect harmony. I got half of you, you got all of me.
Luckily, Pain Paints Paintings, proper Realize, Real Lies title that, tones things back down a bit and is probably overall the melodically smoothest album from Dax.
I ain't weak, I don't break, so I'm working through the weekends. I need to get a separate crib for my achievements.
Good? Not necessarily, but better. Even the rapping is a bit less ridiculous here. Battles with Faith is a good example of a song with a good singing hook in my opinion, and pretty smooth rapping during the verses. It almost has like a Tech 9 fast harmonized rapping sound to it. I enjoy it.
Fighting, I'm having battles with faith. They criticize me and speak on my name. Who's stopping them? We ain't never seen a nigga this popping without that garbage that be brainwashing them. So every time I get a chance, I'm bombing the verbal bombing.
Only significant weak points are that awful propaganda hook, his first Tom McDonald collab by the way, because he has no standards, and the song PTSD.
Propaganda, and all I see is propaganda. Why is he laughing? He's been plotting. Says get up, I hear death calling. I stood up and started walking.
Speaking of no standards, did I mention that his next two projects start leaning in more of a country direction? What a coincidence that he only started making these songs when country was popular on the charts once again. Dax would never
rage trans, would he?
I'm sorry, but this energy drink today is absolutely horrible. This is a Ghost Bubblicious Strawberry Splash. Sponsor me, by the way, Ghost. I know I'm slandering one of your products here, but mostly I like their drinks. This tastes like medicine, man. Medicine that is sorely needed after listening to Dax for weeks. And yeah, those country tracks sound as forced as you would expect them to.
And don't nobody give a damn about our broken hearts, yeah. This the circle of life. As a man you provide, they don't know what you're worth.
And up to this point, I haven't really mentioned what one of my biggest issues is with the way that Dax lays down his vocals. It's the believability of them. When you're making sad or deep rap songs, something that Dax does quite often because #relatable, your voice is the vessel for communicating that emotion. And with a lot of these emotional Dax tracks, I feel like I'm listening to the rap equivalent of an unconvincing actor. Now I'm gonna do something right here that will be a bit of a throwback for some of you watching this. I'm gonna defend Hopsin.
Oh, brother!
At least an aspect of his music. You can take the Hopsin out of the man, but you can't take the man out of the Hopsin. Anyway, some Dax tracks reminded me of Hopsin a little bit, and that connection made me think, I don't feel like Hopsin's emotion has ever felt super performed or for show to me. However misplaced his emotions and anger might be sometimes, and oftentimes they are, I don't feel like I've ever listened to one of his songs and felt like he hasn't truly internally meant what he's venting about. With Dax, I do not get that. On tracks such as Dear God and Book of Revelations, the emotions do feel performative.
How the hell does one man have $100 billion and we still have people on the street that are broke? There's a lot of things I want to talk about and get off my chest. What if we looked for the truth but didn't know where to search? What if the books they said to read have never been your words?
And rap is a performance, but the best rappers are good at making you not notice, making you feel the emotion behind everything. I know Hobson is off-putting to a lot of people, and I completely get why, but he's levels above Dax in this aspect alone, if you ask me. While I haven't discussed his flow too much, if you haven't watched the recent Worst Rappers in the Game episodes, delivery and flow are covered in the same rapping style segment now. It's perfectly solid if you take it on its own. His delivery is the main thing that's shaky to me, but the actual pattern of his flows are usually well suited to the production that they're on. Pain Paints Paintings is a solid project for his flows too. For a lot of the tracks, I feel like he's hitting solid pockets within the beats.
Now stop them all but go off. I get paid to breathe and write songs. You're not on my level, I blast off. Ain't it funny, I used to get passed on.
There's not much that properly blew me away in that regard, but it's probably the least weak aspect of his music. So for the ratings here, I'm gonna go with a 3 out of 10 for Dax's delivery, and a 6 out of 10 for his flows. Like I said, the flows really aren't a problem at all, but I mostly do not like his delivery with shaky singing, over-the-top yelling, and a lack of believability at a lot of points.
If I make a sad song, don't ask me if I'm happy. Fuck a hook, my pain isn't catchy.
Dax is one of those rappers that often gets labeled by his fans as a lyricist, a real rapper, but to me, he's one of the perfect examples of diet lyricism. And even that isn't a good comparison because diet soda is more enjoyable than full sugar, but let me run with this anyway. I've rarely ever listened to a Dax song and felt like there was truly depth to it. A big part of this comes from the fact that Dax feels like an unreliable narrator to me. Maybe it's the unconvincing actor aspect of it all again, but I can't actually tell if a lot of his tracks about pain and suffering come from a genuine place, or if they're just crafted to be relatable and pop off in the algorithm.
Yo. I get lost inside my brain. Think I might need help.
Well, I'm praying for you.
Should I drown all these thoughts or should I leave them to float? I've got all of my flaws living inside of this boat.
This is a man who stole a Lil Peep feature after he died and then marketed the song he made with the stolen feature as a tribute to Lil Peep. So you could see why I wouldn't really put it past him to make up stuff about his life, to make songs that are more relatable, that he can then tell people to share if you relate. And I'm not saying that none of it is true, but what I am saying is that the writing doesn't do a great job of selling me on it. And when it comes to looking at the bars, the wordplay, there's a lot to be desired here too. I mentioned this in my video about unnecessary rap song remixes, but Dax's remix tracks in particular stand out to me as so unimpressive lyrically, despite trying to appear strong in that regard. So much of it feels like, one, pick a general topic, let's say the weather, and then two, play a basic word association game with it.
I bet you I still rain, storming through every beat, how I thunder and bring the pain. You would think a tornado hit, how I mix it up when I sang.
And then maybe follow that up with financial word association.
Yeah, I invest in myself, my stocks rise and it actually bonds people together. I mutually fund humanity. Bank on Dax, it's tax free to gas me.
And then how about some politics? Everybody loves politics.
This new election got me pondering things inside my mind. I'm taking President Trump in the game while biding my time.
Yes, 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 yes.
To me, that's not interesting at all because there's not really very many layers to it and it doesn't really mean all that much. Like when you really boil it down to his core, he's just using all of these things as a way to talk about how great he is. That's pretty much it. Sure, there's double entendres in there, but they feel super lightweight with clunky execution. Top it off with absolutely stupid social commentary and boom, Dax remix. It's actually exhausting to listen to as someone that really enjoys lyricism. I also take issue with him saying rap used to tell a story and now it's all for the views, when this man is possibly the biggest snake oil salesman for the views that I've seen maybe ever. I have just listened to 9 years of Dax's career condensed into a few weeks, and through that it's been so clear that his only real motive is to move with whatever topic or sound is trendy at the time to become as rich and successful as he can. In fact, in his music overall, it really bugs me how he presents himself as someone that doesn't care about followers and social media is evil and all that kind of stuff.
Stuck in a society that profits off of clicks and sexualizes everything for mediocre ego trips. I'm fucking finished with it. Don't make these people your idols. Forget about all of the followers. Jesus had 12 disciples.
When everything he drops is so clearly tailored to social media algorithms. No one was making songs about Danielle Bregoli in 2017 for the love of the game. Although ironically that is kind of one of his catchiest songs, but my point still stands. And then when we get to the more country focused projects, the topic is usually man. Not even Grant McDonald projects talk this much about man. It's all about the plight of being a man and how those darned women will never understand. And the topic of men's mental health is completely valid, by the way. There are some struggles that are generally a little more unique to men, and other struggles that are more unique to women, but Dax's execution of these subjects feels so phony.
Hey, you know who lives in this house? A great big phony! That's right, a phony lives here!
Every topic that could be deep just feels like another way for him to make a marketable track, which, if you can't tell by this point, is one of my biggest issues with his lyrics and content.
When I need space, that's where I go. A place to escape.
And some of the content here is just really funny, like on A Real Man, where Dax is talking about this woman who wants a fantasy version of a man that just doesn't exist in the real world. And then the chorus just talks about her wanting a man that's nice to her and is in control of his emotions.
One who opens up the door, holds her hand and still smiles when he feels bad. In control of his emotions, wears his heart on his sleeve, but don't get mad. Yeah, she says she wants a real man, but what she wants is not for real, man.
Damn this unrealistic female fantasy, wanting men to make them feel nice and comfortable.
The verses dive into some more stuff that actually does paint a picture of this woman being quite toxic, at least from Dax's perspective, but I just think that hook is very funny. He could have put more damning stuff than she wants him to be nice and loving in the chorus. It also just gets a bit dull when the entire album that track is from is basically men have life hard, women make it harder. If you've heard his To Be a Man single, you've basically heard the entire From a Man's Perspective album. I guess because that song was so huge, he decided to make an entire album centered around its themes. Also, I don't really know where else to talk about this within the video, but there's also a song where Dax suggests that thunder occurs because God is applauding when he hears Dax's music.
Maybe the thunder is the sound of God clapping when he's banging Dax music on his playlist. I wonder if God cries.
There's moments here and there where some lyrics will pop out to me, but it happens pretty infrequently. One of the only tracks that had a personal bar that stood out to me was on The Abyss, when he said that his mother crashed on the way to the hospital to give birth to Dax, so that means he was 0 when he first dodged death. Now, I'd be stupid to believe anything that this man says, but at least the bars sound cool, I guess, and this could have been something that happened. Dear Alcohol also works decently enough lyrically as a simple track about dependency on booze and using it as a way to hide from yourself.
I got wasted cause I didn't want to deal with myself tonight.
Standard, but fine for what it is, even if, once again, it's very who can relate, with constant social media posts from Dax asking for engagement on the song. He literally made a skit with King fucking Bach for the song, come on. on, bro.
I gotta start with a drink. My life been getting sorta crazy and I don't wanna think.
That actually makes it feel a lot less serious. I'm sure it's very helpful for all the recovering alcoholics watching these shorts and TikToks and relating to them to see the Jack Daniels logo directly facing the camera every single time.
My thoughts get drowned until I feel alright. And I keep drinking.
Hey, I'm sorry, there's no alcohol in the studio.
I'm having battles with faith. It's painted right on my face.
Do you want it? Do you want it?
How do you create an anti-drinking song and then have all the promotion for it look like an advertisement for an alcohol brand? Even TikTok's AI summary tool mistook this song as a tribute to Jack Daniels while talking about how great of a drink it is, which is absolutely unhinged. And each post has hashtag Jack Daniels. I've changed my mind, fuck this song. So yeah, overall, content wants to be deep, but is a shallow puddle in terms of execution. I can't find it in myself to even believe most of the shit that he talks about in his music. It feels like it capitalizes off of relatable struggles rather than truly relaying the pain of them. And when he goes for actual bar-focused tracks, it feels too basic to be enjoyable. A 3 out of 10 for Dax's lyrics. There's an attempt to put a lot of topics into his albums, but they're rarely addressed interestingly.
I've been on to the next move, I'll check mine like we playing chess. Fuck you, man, it's no regrets. I've been there and I won't forget.
This might be the shortest section in here because for like 90% of Dax's music, I could say the beats are unremarkable. That's not entirely a bad thing, they're just absolutely standard for whatever sound he's going for. The melodic rap beats are passable melodic rap beats.
I can't breathe. I'm struggling finding a balance between what I want and I need.
The country rap beats are exactly what you would expect, and boy does that get tiring fast when it becomes more of a focus for Dax.
I was hurting inside, battling with my faith, but God ain't never gave me nothing I can overtake.
The more rappity rap style beats are pretty standard too. Honestly, the best beats that he's ever rapped over are the ones for his Tupac remix tape, but obviously that isn't much of a factor here because that's not production original to his music. In terms of notably good stuff, The Devil's Calling is one that I really enjoyed with a smooth West Coast bounce to it.
My people trapped inside these chains, they got us thinking in these jail cells, so keep it quiet when I'm spitting real.
A Lot at Stake with Snow the Product has a really cool bounce to the drum pattern that's probably one of my favorite songs from this whole experience.
I kneel, I pray, I stay up way I won't change and I ain't no fake. If you ever cross me, better look both ways.
I'm the product and the dealer on a mission for commission. If you ever cross me, don't be calling me. People trying to make themselves feel better with their apology.
Shout out to Snow the Product, by the way. I've always thought that she's quite underrated. And I really like the vibes of the beats for No Respect with Futuristic, who has a good feature as well, by the way. He shows Dax how to incorporate singing into your rap verse nicely.
I turned down the deal cause my homie was getting shelled. I said that I'm the greatest, I always defend the belt.
And did it first.
Where I'm from, they never did it. I did it first. Rap game wasn't shit. I gave it birth. Now you tryna be my man. Fuck a fake nigga. Fuck a fake nigga. Moving out the state, nigga. Rappers wanna feature, they ain't even tryna pay niggas.
The atmosphere of these beats actually mixes nicely with Dax rapping in a more normal tone. These tracks are pretty solid. Honestly, It's Different Now is probably the most enjoyable project in this whole thing because Dax really doesn't try too hard on here and it makes for a decent listen. On the bad side, there's only a few beats that stand out as kinda rough to me, and even then, none of them are overwhelmingly bad. For example, parts of Dax's Joker track sound exactly like Eminem's Lucky You.
Give me the beat and the mic, give me the freedom to write, give me the vision to see my demons and beat them at night, give me the pen and the pad, give me a couple of stands. My bad. I forgot you were fragile. I forgot someone who doesn't even know me told you I'm an asshole.
PTSD has this weird, dramatic NF style beat which mixes with Dax's vocals horribly.
And on earth, I believe that this life is by you and whatever you choose is the best.
And Place of Peace was just annoyingly loud to the point that I couldn't focus on anything else. Why are the guitar strings dominating the track like that? Turn the volume way down.
I know the past It's keeping us away from happiness, but I hope that we last.
Those are just a few specific ones, but like I said, my biggest issue overall with Dax's beat selection is just that it's extremely standard. It's one of the things that makes a short 7-track project like I'll Say It For You an absolute drag to get through. They're not bad beats, but I've heard stuff just like it a million times before. I've got to go for a 5 out of 10 for Dax's beat selection, nothing too bad, but it's because there's barely any ambition in his choices for beats. He has a stunningly generic ear for production.
I never seen God's eyes, but I seen the devil's. He walks with man on earth.
Enjoyment. Low. This was a tough experience to get through, man. Some of you might think, this one probably wasn't as bad to get through as some of the other rappers in this series, but you would be wrong, my friend. It's Different Now was, I guess, the best project I listened to here. Dax isn't so over the top on this one, and while it doesn't necessarily offer anything special or unique, it's an alright listen with production that does the job, and Dax working well enough with it. The second best, and I use best loosely here, was surprisingly the longest project, Pain Paints Paintings. It is too long for what it is, but it doesn't suck. Decent vocals, solid beats, and generally good features with the exception of the obvious, makes for a relatively nice Dax album. I'd rank What Is Life next, the album that signaled Dax would start focusing more on country but didn't fully dive in that direction. It's pretty weak and unremarkable. Then we have I'll Say It For You, a truly boring project, which is impressive considering its 23-minute runtime. The beats are obnoxiously standard, Dax's vocals are annoyingly over the top on several tracks, and all the songs are supposed to be deep, but Dax makes pretty much all these topics sound bland. And lastly, From a Man's Perspective. The peak of Dax switching his grift to the country crowd with hard-working man anthems, plenty of talk about how women are the problem, and covering a lot of mental health topics with a lack of depth. Oh yeah, I just realized I completely forgot to rank his Tupac remix tape in here. Honestly, that's probably the best one. Easiest to listen to, nice flows from Dax, there's some singing moments that aren't so great on there, but like generally, it's fairly nice for what it is. It's not a bad listen at all. That's his best one. It's Different Now second best, just put the Tupac one at the top of the pile here. As you can tell, it's very far from the best experience that I've had listening to music for this series. The music is mostly not nice to listen to in the first place, and it's hard to enjoy when it all feels so fake. Dax comes off as a grade A capitalizer, only concerned with doing what will get the most views, and that's why I find it so hard to believe anything that he says. Once again, if this is a man that is willing to essentially steal a Lil Peep feature after his death and make a song with it and market it as a tribute to essentially capitalize off of Lil Peep's death, what other truths will he twist to make songs? Does he actually believe anything he says, or is it all just fabricated? And when it comes to the corniness in Dax's music, something that I haven't talked about too much up to this point, yeah, it's really bad, but I also think it's intentional. I think Dax hugely plays it up and essentially acts like a clown because one, it performs pretty well in the algorithm, but maybe even more importantly, number two, I think Dax would rather control the narrative and have people make fun of him for being corny, rather than criticize his actions in real life and behind the scenes, which by all accounts have shown him to be a self-centered liar and a rumored scammer who treats smaller artists like dirt while taking their money. All in all, this experience was rough. A 2 out of 10 for my enjoyment of Dax's music. It's pretty bad in the first place, but becomes even worse when your phony detectors start going off, crushing his credibility as an artist, if there was any to begin with.
Come join my circus! You fucking pricks! I'll fuck you till you love me!
So if we add up the scores that Dax got for this episode and then divide them by 5, he gets a final score of 3.8 out of 10. This places him at the number 24 spot in the worst rappers in the game ranking, below XXXTentacion and above Ice Spice. It's been a tough few weeks listening to primarily Dax music, and I look forward to swiftly moving on now that this episode is complete. So now I'll pass the question over to you guys. How do you feel about Dax's music? Let me know down in those comments below, and you can click on the screen right here for the worst rappers in the game playlist if you want to catch up on the series. Thank you so much for watching, and much love to my channel members and Patreon supporters over there, with a special shout out to Henry Flores, I Am Regent, Lucas1123, and Neo Striker. I promise, I'm gonna do my best to make sure it's not another year before the next episode in this series.